Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we'll be going down the 5 best transmog farms that you can do in WoW. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Now coming in at number 1 we have Zilpha Rock. Now Zilpha Rock is a great farming location if you want to do basic transmog farming and just getting into transmog farming in general. This because it actually has a high amount of low tier, medium tier and high end tier transmog items. Now I say tiers, but when I mean by tiers, I mean seriously low end transmog items, so a lot of those. And so that means that they go for a low amount of gold. You have the medium ones, which are relatively the BOE blues that you get from it, and they are tending to be towards something along the lines of a couple of thousand to a 10,000 gold, pretty much max. It means that they're kind of medium-ish, so they sell infrequently, but they do sell. The next ones of note are the glorious leg plates and the jade leg plates, which actually drop from this dungeon. Now these have a low drop chance in order to sell, in order to drop from the mobs, but now thanks to the scaling from a while back from the end of Legion, the dungeons now drop the glorious leg plates, and that is pretty damn good because they sell from anywhere from around about 50,000 to 100,000 gold even today, because they're quite a sought after item for transmog. The thing that actually drives their price up is because of their low drop chance. So that being the case, this is a great all-rounder for getting into transmog, and it produces you with a great gold per hour just in general for transmog farming. So if you want to get into transmog farming, recommended Zilpha Rock. Coming in at number 2 we have the Razorfury Crawl. And now Razorfury Crawl is located in the Southern Barrens, and all you have to do is just round up the first load of trash. And all you have to do with the Razorfury Crawl is gather up all of the mobs and burn them down. The route in this is pretty damn weird, as pretty much most of the Razorfury dungeons are pretty damn weird when it comes to their farming routes. But nonetheless, it is a great way in order to make a decent of extra pieces of gold when it comes to transmog farming overall. So this dungeon actually provides you with a load of low end and medium end gear. Along with that has a chance of dropping the Star Belt recipe, which is a high end recipe that can drop from this instance. Only this, there are some unique BOE blues that are unique to this dungeon in particular, which sell for quite a hefty chunk of gold overall. Razorfury Downs has been a bread and butter transmog farming location, and even today still provides you with a great amount of gold or looted item value per hour, so then you can restock and bulk up your auction house for transmog selling. So to follow on to this is number 3, and that is the Razorfury Downs. Now Razorfury Downs is much like its counterpart of Razorfury Crawl and has a weird transmog farming route, so to speak, for this dungeon. Mainly for this, you aren't going in for anything in particular besides transmog items, and it still provides you a load of unique BOE blues, which sell for a hefty amount of gold overall. And alongside this is a great way in order to just make gold just in general. And basically, if you want to pad out your auction house, both of the Razorfury farms are pretty damn good when it comes to the grand scheme of getting started with transmog. So if you picked all of the ones pretty much from this list for transmog farming, it will basically pad out your auction house to get started in transmog farming overall. Now, aside from that, the Razorfury Downs is relatively easy to run. It takes you a little while to get used to how you do the route, so to speak. And other than that, it doesn't take you all that long in order to get locked out for this instance. The only thing that I would recommend is if you be a druid, in order to your dream walk ability to jump out of the instance and run back in, or you could use the proving grounds technique in order to do the exact same thing. Aside from all of that, this farming location is one of the best transmog farming locations going, and that is why it is at number 3. Now coming in at number 4 is Muradin. Now Muradin is an amazing transmog farming location. Not only does it provide you with a load of medium and high-end transmog items, but alongside this, Muradin actually provides you with a load of old world classic herbs. Now these herbs can be farmed up all from the the nashers, so the little vial spine type things that actually are in the instance. And not only that, it actually has 2 ways in order to get in and out of the instance, so to speak. Now, if you follow this in kind of like a crescent moon shape pattern around the actual instance, you can actually do the route as you would going from one entrance to the other and do the complete farm like that. So then you can run out, reset the instance at the end of your route and run back in again and then go back to the beginning of where you did. So on your second run, you go back to the same entrance that you went to. So in those 10 lockouts, you're back exactly where you are and you haven't wasted any time. This is why I prefer Muradin, because it seriously is one of the best farming locations for gold farming overall. And just to make sure, I would recommend actually picking up a speed potion in order to get those extra 10 runs in. These speed potions actually do equal to a high amount of gold looted item value per hour, as you are able to blast your way through pretty damn sharpish. Other than that, if you do not want to use those types of potions, I would recommend building a somewhat of a speed set, so to speak, so at least get some form of speed increases, as it will help you gain all of those 10 lockouts. Other than that, if you don't do that, you will have to wait for the instance to lock out, and you probably will only get a couple of about 7 runs in. Now, if you do use a speed set, you are probably going to get those 10 runs in and therefore get more transmog items looted for the hour. Aside from that, let's move into number 5. Now, number 5 is Black Fathom Deeps. Now, Black Fathom Deeps has always been a brilliant gold farm, and I remember finding this about 4 years ago to be the case when it came into transmog farming. That is about the time I got into transmog selling. And Black Fathom Deeps is pretty damn good. Not only does it have a great variety of different types of unique BOE blues, which you can get from the auction house, which you can sell on the auction house for over about 10k per blue, and you usually get quite a few in those 10 runs. It's a very linear path in order to follow. So when you're actually doing this raid, when you're actually doing this transmog farm in this dungeon, you will be getting quite a lot of BOE blues that sell for a load of BOE greens which you can sell, and not only that, you do get a hefty amount of loads of other different types of things. Now, to make sure about the only thing that I would recommend, and which is kind of the downfall of this dungeon, you aren't able to get those 10 runs in if you don't have, or you don't use the Proving Grounds technique or the Dreamwalk ability to get you in and out pretty damn sharpish, because you want time is of the essence when it comes to the lockout. And if you have to run the entire linear back, as it's only a linear straight path, you'll only get a few runs in before you're locked out before the hour resets. So in order to maximize the amount of looted item value per hour from an amazing gold per hour transmog farming location, I would recommend using the Proving Grounds technique or the Dreamwalk ability when it comes to this particular farming location. Aside from that, that is pretty much all I have to say for the 5 best transmog farms. And other than that, guys, have a lovely rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. Have an awesome day, guys, and I shall see you soon.